Welcome to Options Brew TV. I'm your host, Lex, and we have our special guest today, Matt Amberson of Orats. Hello, Matt. How are you? Always a pleasure. I like to call you Mr. Volatility in a way because your stuff is so cool.
Great, Lex. Great to be here.
All right, Matt. So Orats, give us a little background first. This is the coolest thing in the world, this product. And then give us an example or two and show the folks what you guys do.
Yeah, but like we were talking about on the floor, we developed all these computations and forecasts and such, and we traded successfully. And then we turned it into a research firm. And then people wanted us to prove that the data was good. So we made a back tester, and that got a life of its own. And then people wanted to scan on the back test parameters. So we have a scanner, and then they want to look at their positions, and they want to exit, and they want alerts and everything. So we were really pulled by the customers into making this this platform. And right now, Orats is an API-based ton of data back to 2007. So we do back testing, we do trigger analysis, when's the best time to trade stocks or options or positions. And then we have, like I said, we have scanners that we could find the stocks that are meeting the criteria, technical analysis or volatility criteria, and those options that best fit your strategy. And also we do a lot of theoretical value calculations. For example, we do a historical distribution of returns, and then we value an option underneath that distribution. This is what you really want. If you're trading, you want to know a theoretical value. You want to have a line in the sand somewhere. You'll see these markets that are wide, and you need to know where that theoretical value is in between that. And we're constantly doing that. As a matter of fact, we've been working with Trader for quite a number of years, and we feed in a lot of the theoretical values, and those make good deltas and other Greeks. And so you have to have very good theoretical values, as you know well. But even the normal traders that don't really look at that stuff too much, it's really important to have under the hood a solid system for calculating theoretical values, Greeks, and everything, so you know where you're trading. And in our scanners and in our position management, you have good Greeks. You have and then the ability to see and you could line up other options against one another. And I could show you that a little bit.
Yeah, you actually made a good point. I just want to reemphasize. So theoretical value in an apple market or a spider market that's a penny wide, interesting. Okay, it's probably not terribly out of line. But when you get theoretical value in Tesla, for instance, which is a wide market, okay, and this is the point that you made, it's not necessarily the midpoint of that market that is theoretically accurate. It could shade to the bid, it could shade to the offer, it could be beyond the bid or the offer, quite frankly, depending on how inventory sits around that. Now, most of the machines will kind of move the curve into line and that sort of thing, but you tend to show accurate theoreticals irrespective of that midpoint bid offer,
right?
And that a lot of retailers use.
Yeah, you mentioned Tesla, but that's not. There's some even worse ones. I mean, there are because Tesla actually, you have a fair amount of people looking at it, so you have a fair amount of market makers. But there are so many stocks out there, over 5,000. When we were on the floor, there was 1,000. So people aren't really watching, and they just the market makers widen out their markets. And if you aren't careful, you're going to have no bid at $2, and it's worth 5 cents. And if you try to make an implied volatility at the mid market, it's gonna throw off your deltas and what you think your position is. So
yeah, that's a good point.
So you really need it for those. And if you're ever trading any illiquid markets or wide markets, wow, it's really important to have it. And I've worked very hard for a lot of years in order to get those. That's the first thing. That's the blocking and tackling fundamentals of option trading, and then you kind of build on top of it like we have.
Sure. Okay. Do you want to show us an example or two of the system at work? Share a screen.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So yeah, let me just back up here. So this is a scanner. I have Apple in there. I have an iron condor, and I also have a short call spread. You can put in any number of different strategies, or you can make your own. You could even bring in your back test, but that's a different story. And then you could adjust if you have a bias, a bullish bias or a bearish bias. It will adjust weights certain options. So it's sorting these, it's ranking all of these 100 trades meeting my filters right now, and it ranks them for you. Because how do you know if it's which one's best? And in this case, I could set my ranking. I mentioned the distribution, I mentioned forecast, that smoothing number I talked about before. We have delta costs, which is a different calculation. We have rewards or risk. So in a short spread, you have a negative reward to risk. So you're making the market in a sense. Whereas if I put a long put, then I could see where I have a reward to risk of greater than 1. So that's really interesting to look at. I think is especially what is your reward to risk? What is your probability of profit? Which that's essentially a win rate.
Yep.
And then we have a ton of other stuff: max gains, theoretical values, and then we even have open interest and volume. And if you have multiple legs, we show you open interest for all the legs, and you could even filter it out, and it'll filter on the minimums and maximums. So you could only trade stocks that have a fair amount of open interest or a fair amount of volume. You could filter out based on how wide the market is, and then even when earnings are.
Right.
So it's a great new scanner.
Right.
We're just coming to them. We've had a scanner for a few years, but now we've gotten a bunch of requests for certain things, so we've rewritten it, and here it is. You're the first one seeing it, Lex.
Oh, great. So you can scan for different variables, right? Whatever those may be that you offer, right? Do you find when you're using it yourself that you get it so that you're not getting 100 returns? You kind of want to have the best, 10 that are just unbelievable because you've made it very granular what you're looking for. Is that accurate or not so much?
Absolutely. So I like my forecasts here. So there are only a few of these forecasts that are over a certain amount. So I could filter out anything where my forecast isn't above 0.
Okay.
So now I only have a certain amount of trades that are going to show. So that that's the types of things that we can
Sure.
do, and you could sort on all these things. So absolutely, you want clearly there's so many options out there, and even if you set your parameters a certain way, you're still going to get a lot. But then you could really filter them down. That's what this whole scanner is for, to filter down and only show you the best trades coming through. Yeah. So, I mean, this is why we're doing this. You can't have overload. You have to, show the options that meet your criteria the best. And then we back test all that. So those are the ones that meet our criteria, and we've seen how it works. So, at least the user has the ability to understand how their profit might look. And then we have a payoff distribution, like many people are used to seeing, but in the background, we have this distribution of return, so you could see where your probabilities of profits might be and how your distribution looks. And if I had a positive bias, all these bars would shift to the right. If I had a negative bias, they would shift to the left. So it allows you to have a bias and then still be able to sort for the option trade that works best in that particular histogram or payoff picture. And
then you have the ability to trade this, right? You're connected to Tradier, right?
Yeah, so I could trade that. We also have connected to TradeHawk, and we're able to send into the trading room. So that's kind of cool. And we could also, we've also written to the API. Again, this is a pretty young product, so it's not all wired in yet, but we have in the past and planning to be able to send it directly to Trader's API.
Nice. I love it. So you saying this part of the product is new, this option scanning part?
Yeah, this option scanning part where you could filter and rank based on the settings that you have, the ability to adjust different columns, and this whole front end is new. So yeah, we're very excited about it. We've had just a couple alpha users that have given us some great feedback, and they really like it. So yeah, we're quite happy with it.
That's awesome. So is this the one that you can scan for implied volatility disruptions based on, I know you've got a great data on IV. So can you do that here as well?
Absolutely. That you set up a back test and you tell it, if the implied volatility is X amount greater than yesterday, or there's literally thousands of things that you could feed in there, and it'll only show the symbols that meet that criteria.
Love it. Do you use that yourself? Or are you kind of still a vol trader? Like I kind of was a vol trader, I guess, back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, of course we trade vol, but I've been doing a lot more earnings trades.
Yeah.
I've a lot of back testing there has shown that the calendars are working pretty well. So you could search for some good calendars in here. One of the great things about this is I could put in thousands of symbols, and it still doesn't bog it down. You could still see which are the best of the certain strategies, and also you could filter out again, according to what you were saying before, whether it be technical indicators like moving averages, or whether it be volatility percentiles, or skew, how the skews moved, or there's a ton of logic like that. And we also test for those triggers. So we have, we probably test 11,000 triggers in this machine learning type environment. So we have some indication of what types of strategies are best to use under certain market conditions. So that's a really neat thing to be able to see.
Well, that's great. This is awesome. I don't think I've seen this latest version. Is that right?
No, this is the first time we're just getting that. We're just taking alpha users. So this is
bringing us back in here. Yeah, that is fantastic. And you said it's gotten great feedback.
Yeah, our alpha users are great. They're traders, so they don't mince words, and they're actually effusive on this. So we've listened to them, and we put a bunch of the things that they said to do in our in this front end.
That's awesome. Congrats on that. I love the look of it. So that's fantastic. Yeah, don't miss Orats.com. I can't say enough about how awesome his platform is. It's just terrific. And Matt and I go way back in the industry, a long time pals back on the floor days, right? My gosh, it's been a long time.
Yeah, too long. And we learned a lot. We took our lumps and learned a lot about trading back then. And but that's how you learn and put all this data into one place, and that's how you want to trade. I mean, on the floor, you saw the people that really were the good traders, and the paper that came in, they knew what was going on. They had relative values down, and so in order to survive and thrive in this option market, you need to have as many things in your corner as possible, and that's what we try to do at Orats.
Yep, no, that's great. All right, well, everyone check out Orats.com. That's the best place to find you, right, Matt?
That's the best place. And reach out, Matt at Orats, MATT at ORATS.com.
And I must say, you have a calendar link in that signature, don't you? You are the man who taught me how to use the calendar link.
And now you're teaching me how to this awesome streaming service.
Unbelievable. I'm so happy with the calendar link. I'm so thankful to you. All right, Matt. Great. Thanks for coming on. I'll see you a little bit after the show here on this thing. I'm going to close her down now, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
And as always, man, great information. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it's killer. As this evolves, you're going to see some other stuff. Lex, it's going to blow your socks off. I didn't want to mention too much here, but
let's do that on the next one.
Yeah. No, seriously, your socks will actually fall off.
I love it. I can't wait. All right, Matt. Good to see you.
All right. Good to see you, man.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. Thanks to Matt Amberson of Orats.com. Don't forget to subscribe to Options Brew TV, and we will see you next time on The Brew.